Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, April 11th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call tomorrow night around 9 p.m. Eastern. Do some unraveling of some areas that are confusing people. You are given the gifts of the gods. You create your reality according to your beliefs. Yours is the creative energy that makes your world. There are no limitations to the self except those you believe in. Seth. Anything is possible. That's like a mantra that should be stated, or an affirmation, however you look at it, stated as many times a day as possible. Anything is possible. When we put limitations on ourselves, right, we believe in certain things, and so we limit ourselves to certain things. This universe is always showering us with abundance. It's constantly, deeply and eternally loving us with life, creativity, and love. It's perpetually giving us energy through the sun, oxygen in the air, your food, water, and the electric pulse of your beating heart. This gift of energy is what makes you a vibrantly alive human being. Anytime that we feel needy, desperate, lacking, or in a state of demanding desire, we've simply forgotten about these deeply eternal lovings which the universe is offering. We have become ungrateful towards this life, and are trapped in the illusion of lack. And whenever we stop appreciating this life stops appreciating us. And our typical flowing, easy day suddenly becomes a perpetually challenging, painful adventure. The baseline truth is this. This universe is a magical manifesting playground that is happy to give us whatever we want, whenever we want it. We simply have to believe fully that we can receive it and trust in the mysterious process of how it comes to you. We were all built with a connection so tight with this universe that it knows exactly what we want before we want it. So your job is not necessarily about asking the universe for what you want, yet more along the lines of feeling that your desire is already on its way to you. It's already on its way, whatever it is. Dance madly, as if all of life is meant for dancing and celebrating. Osho. Whatever your mind focuses on always multiplies and expands, always. When you focus on lack, you create more lack. Lack attracts lack, while feelings of appreciation and gratitude attract more abundance. Simply by shifting towards the feeling of being grateful, you start to manifest a greater abundance of goodies. The mind somehow forgets about what you thought you were missing in this life and is happy about what it does have. The real question then becomes, how devoted are you to the feeling of perpetually receiving what you want and keeping your mind off the feeling of not getting what you thought you wanted and don't have? Whenever you send out the energy of desperation, it's like proclaiming to the universe that you are a beggar and not the actual master of your life. When we follow the thoughts and feelings of desperation, it becomes a form of lying to ourselves and this universe. And we are pulling a poverty veil over our own eyes. If we've been lying to ourselves for years, it can seem easier to stay in what's old and comfortable than to be wrong about our entire way of being and step into something new and liberating. The complaints, the excuses, and manipulative masks we wear will always support desperation consciousness. These are all part of what we need to release and give up if we are to manifest the life of our dreams. Believe in what you want so much that it has no choice but to materialize. Believe in what you want so much that it has no choice but to materialize. There is nothing positive that manifests from sending waves of desperation out into this world. It actually makes you feel more needy than you truly are, and thus have to work harder to manifest something that was easy to receive. It's quite possible that one day you will receive what you want from this needy place, yet it will always come in a slower and more challenging way. This universe always wants us to learn how amazing, unstoppable, and divine we truly are. Now, it is quite ridiculous to think that we are getting what we want by choosing to feel we are lacking something. Okay? It's quite ridiculous to think that we are getting what we want by choosing to feel we are lacking something. The mind may think that if we act more desperate, then other people will have pity on us and then want to give us what we desire and make us temporarily happy. People tend to run far, far away from those who are filled with neediness. People tend to run far, far, far away from those who are filled with neediness. Desperation does not make anybody truly excited about this life. Over time, it creates hypertension in your body and a generalized state of panic in the mind. Desperation is definitely not a turn on or aphrodisiac for anyone. Every great work and accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding to the vision, and often just before the big achievement arrives comes apparent failure and discouragement. Florence Scovel Shinn. Whatever you dwell on is what you draw into your life. Whatever you dwell on is what you draw into your life. A highly orgasmic conscious being is one who has made close friends with desperation. The mind will allow the needy feeling to be there when it arises, yet doesn't buy into the story and never ever acts on it. This person allows their mind to open up into the most expansive experience and feeling possible. This expansive vibration is our natural state and begins the very moment the mind stops and the desperation saboteur falls off its track. Now, if and when you watch your mind long enough, you will find that it's always investing its time and energy into some creative thought project. The mind is always creating something, sending out waves of manifesting energy in a variety of directions. When you bring your attention towards those thoughts, which makes your smile ignite, your eyes sparkle, and your heart sing, you stop the desperation addiction and become a manifesting magnet for what you desire. There are no accidents nor coincidences in this world. Nothing is by chance. Absolutely nothing is by chance. Everything that you experience is a direct manifestation of where you focus your attention and hold your vibration. Everything you experience is a direct manifestation of where you focus your attention and hold your vibration. Now, if you feel that you're super stuck in playing the same desperate poor me victim game every day of your life, just stop and look underneath your desire. See exactly what it is that you truly want. What is it that your heart is actually yearning for? Does it want to be loved? Feel wanted? Feel important? Safe? Cared for? Precious? Special? Free? Rich? Or simply just happy? Your body-mind is a manifesting machine. Think about how ridiculous it is for you to continue to choose feeling desperate and needy and continue manifesting more of what you don't want. Success in this life is simple. Just flip the switch in your mind and refocus on the feeling of what you do have instead of what you don't have. Happiness is an attitude. We either make ourselves miserable or happy and strong. The amount of work is the same. Francesca Riegler. Now, if you think you have nothing, always remember that as long as you have a body, you will have a mind with some form of creative imagination. This creativity is divine, and it is the greatest gold mine you'll ever find. When you start using it to consistently imagine yourself having what you want and how that feels to have this in your life right now, you ignite your magical manifesting powers to attract that one thing from the furthest edges of this universe. We are always more powerful than our minds imagine that we are. We are always more powerful than our minds imagine that we are. This is the programming that we are here to unplug from and realize the divine truth, that you are an all-powerful, sacred divine being who can create anything. Yes, inside you is a power that is as brilliant, amazing, and as large as the sun. You have the energy inside you to give life and manifest anything. Whatever idea, person, thing, money, or love your heart desires can come to fruition. Just say yes to it all day long. Do this, and your life will turn into an outrageously successful adventure. Are you ready to shape your life exactly how you want it to be this week? Now, it seems, what? Doesn't it seem easy? Really? That all we got to do is flip the switch. And we have the recipe. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with oneself at all times. Be in the deepest, deepest, deepest of eternal gratitude at all times. And what do you think that does? That increases your vibrational frequency. You could just be sitting, watching something, reading a book, walking, driving. And all of a sudden it dawns on you that you express how grateful you are. Now, this has been moded into position for many, 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 many years. And so people say, well, why hasn't civilization grown into that natural state of being? So just about, not just about everybody is manifesting what they want, when they want it. Okay? All the gurus, all the books and the tapes and the CDs and the MP3s and the MP4, all of it, year after year after year. All the people giving that message out. And only a handful benefit. Why is that? Well, habits aren't easy as all of you know, habits are not easy to what? Release, surrender to, get rid of. Give it up. So this is what we are in entanglement with. We're not, our natural state of being is not desperation and drawing more and more negativity or lower frequencies into our lives. When you're desperate, what do? You become more desperate. When you become more desperate, what happens? You become more desperate. And what does the universe do? Send you more things to keep you desperate. So it's like a subconscious reprogramming, a unconscious reprogramming, and a conscious awareness all together. Now, a lot of people don't believe it. They don't believe it. They may believe it on the surface, okay? But deep within, they don't believe it. They don't feel it. And so what does that do? It reinforces the universe to bring things into their life that they don't want. And if you ever had somebody, could have been, off and on through your life, this life, where you were doing something and you were manifesting, okay? And you're in a conversation with somebody and you say, well, I know that will be, right? You do. You know that's coming for you. That's coming for you. Because you've already put it out to the universe and you have total faith, confidence, and trust in yourself and the universe. So it's not a biggie. You know it's coming. Now, the other person says to you, that probably isn't going to, that isn't even realistic. That's unrealistic. How the heck do you think you're going to have that? You're just going to get disappointed because it's not going to work out for you. You had that similar words, maybe not exact as those, but similar. And here's the key. You allow that other person's vibrational frequency to cause you to start doubting, they'll be right. You won't receive it. But if you when they say those things to you, right? And you're like an oak tree. You just say, okay, well, it's no biggie. And you say this to yourself. You say, well, I know it's coming, and that's all that matters. So then when it comes, the other person kind of goes, no, right? You ever had this happen? You don't even need to have them say a word. They would, the energy, the frequency that they give off, you will feel it, and it will be that they are what? Envious. Disappointed that you didn't become disappointed. Right? You ever had that? And why is that? Why is that? Because they feel comfort with others who don't get what they want. because they don't get what they want. And that makes them feel good temporarily. Whenever you're excited about something and you get a surprise, let's say, something that you put into motion with the universe and you just forgot about it, right? And it comes in. And you're totally bowled over because you had no clue. And you say to people, I have no idea. I am so grateful for this. No idea that it was going to come into my life. Now, you have the other people, and some of them are genuinely happy for you because you're part of them, vice versa. So they share in your joy because that joy, that frequency is motivating others. But then there's the others that will try to pull you down. This is why it's so important for us to gravitate into higher frequencies by our own choice, to seek within the gods that we are, where you're not bothered by it. Genuinely, it's not. You don't sit there and judge them. You don't sit there and get angry with them. It just doesn't bother you. You don't. It's like you don't even flinch an eyelid. And so it comes in, and you realize that those people, there's a lot of them on this planet, okay, they will start to do one of two things. They'll gravitate towards you and start changing their frequency, right? Or they'll gravitate away from you. Oh, they're arrogant. I don't get around them anymore. They're just too arrogant. They just think that what doesn't stink and blah, 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 blah. Right? But you don't care because you're manifesting exactly what you want whenever you want it. And that attracts others that feel the same way. So then you start having people come into your life that are on the same page as you, that they believe that they are a supreme immortal being and a master manifester that never dies, that can manifest anything they want. Now, have you ever gotten around people that are on the same page as you? I get this all the time where I'm sent emails or letters that people say, it feels so good to talk with somebody that's awake or aware. It's hard to navigate this planet because there's so many people that are asleep. So you can turn that energy. Don't let it suck you into desperation or ill feeling. You can say, you know what? I just increased my vibrational frequency because of choice, because I want to. And it'll affect everybody around me. So eventually, the people that you desire to be in your life and around you will be there. And the ones that are asleep, we don't judge them. It's just that they haven't discovered who and what they are yet. And we've discovered to a certain extent that we are the God in the body and not the body. And then from that point, we begin to increase our vibrational frequency more. And that God that we are becomes more there, more interactive. You start talking with the God that you are. You start embracing the God that you are. You start deeply loving the God that you are. You pray to the God that you are. You carry on conversations with the God that you are. And sure, slowly but surely, your vibrational frequency transforms. But, you're not running around, look what I did, and I'm better than you. You just manifest it. And then people say, how come it is, and this is how some people will be towards you, how come it is that Ben, right, seems to effortlessly bring things into his life? How does he do that? Okay? And we all have that. It's like, oh, Ben's better than us because he can do that. No, we all have it. Every one of us have it. We're omnipotently powerful beings. when we finally accept that deeply and eternally, everything's going to shift massively. And you begin to recognize that eventually you start to understand that all this time you've been able, but you didn't do it, you've been able to create anything you desire. And your best friend, the universe, is right there. It's right there. If you've seen people that will say that their lives are miserable, there's no reason to live, that all they've gotten in life were unlucky breaks and all kinds of bad things. Their whole life was that way. You know why? Why was it that way? I think we all know. Because they believed it was that way. And the universe kept giving them more. You ever had someone say that they've had a horrible, rough life? Right? And they're tired and they just all they want to do is leave the body. Because they're tired. And you get tired, you know how you get tired? And it isn't a fatigue, like, you work out and you're tired. And it's not a mental fatigue either. You just feel tired, exhausted. You know why that is? It takes a lot out of us to stay in lower vibrational frequency. It isn't our natural state of being. Never was. It's our unnatural state of being. That drains us. And that sometimes we feel it. And if we keep that pulse going in that direction for a long time, we have biological things that show up in our body because of it. Now, can you imagine, right, that someone, calls you up or texts you or emails you and says, hey, why don't we go out to dinner and get together with, Joe, Bill, Jane, Alice, whatever. And they say, what are you doing? And you say, I'm practicing relaxing. What? I'm practicing relaxing. What does that mean? It means I'm practicing relaxing my body and my mind. Naturally. And so that's what I'm doing. And this is what we all should be doing. Practice relaxing the body and the mind. See, when you relax the body, you move out of the mind. You leave the mind alone. And you just float. You're in the now. Have you ever dozed off? Right? Not all the time, but sometimes when you doze off. And you kind of, how you kind of jerk at times because feels like you're falling. And you wake up and you don't know where you are. You're not familiar with the surroundings. You ever done that? Now, if you relax the body, to surrender and let go, when you did wake up, you wouldn't be startled, and you really wouldn't care about your surroundings. You would be at ease, at a high frequency, blissful almost. Imagine being able to wake up out of a sound sleep, and the first thing that comes to you is how grateful you are. First thing comes to you, how grateful you are. And you're not doing it to get something. You do it because you feel it. You feel the gratitude. You feel the happiness, the joy. And you realize that everything in this universe comes for you, happens for you, not to you. It's almost like a silver gold platter appears in front of you, right? And all of your favorite food desires are there. All there. Perfectly prepared, everything. And you could pick any one you want easily and enjoy it. That's what this life was designed to do. Is to live on this God planet paradise, right? And this planet's a lot older than people think. It's not a few billion years old. So you're on this planet, and there's essence and energies from those who have left. Okay? Those who have left. You ever notice that you're driving along, okay? And you're kind of melancholy. You're not really thinking much or anything. But as you drive along and you pass some houses, right? You could be going through a neighborhood or off of one of the main roads. And every now and then you pass a house where you get this sinking feeling. You ever had that? You're not familiar with the houses or anything. But every now and then you'll look at some of them, and some of them almost like bring you down the energy level. Because there's such a low frequency essence there with that house and how it's surrounded with it. Then you come across a house that it lifts you. The energy is absolutely wonderful. And this is with everything, okay? You might be looking at a used car that you had your eye on for, backup transportation, and not expensive. It's a few $1,000s. But for some reason, you're drawn to it. You like it. You do. And it doesn't matter if anybody else does. You really like this vehicle. It's interesting, right? And you don't know why. The salesperson is saying, well, you probably want to take this to your mechanic and have it checked over. And you go, yeah, that's fine. And before you buy it. But you like the color, and you like some of the smudges on it and its character and everything. So kind of like its patina. And you get a good feeling around it. That's what this life's about. When you have a higher vibrational frequency that you've chosen to generate for yourself in this life, you're going to attract things that have a high vibrational frequency. It's just automatic. You're not going to attract things that are low vibrational frequency. And this is with people, animals, everything. So when you start to become aware of this, why would you lower your frequency long enough to attract more of the same, right? More disappointment, more pain, more suffering. You wouldn't, would you? But we do. And it's like a knee-jerk reaction. We just do it automatically because we're so used to doing it. I mean, we've done it for thousands of lifetimes. Why would we stop doing it? That's the habit, that's the programming, it's the whole 9 yards. But then you start figuring things out. You sit, you're just in a naturally good mood and no reason for it, right? And things just kind of shift around you. Have you ever talked to somebody that says, you seem so happy? Yeah, and I'm just happy because I'm here. I'm happy. No reason to be happy. You're just happy. I think a lot of people on this planet believe that they have to have a reason to be happy. So therefore they go out and they look for the reason to be happy. And then when they get it, they're happy, but not for long. And that's tied to the ego mind. Now, when you become relaxed, and you know how to relax your body and relax the mind, you leave the mind alone, and you just coast, right? and you have a good feeling in the center of your chest. And you just say, you manifest something. You say, I would like this. It could be anything. It could be a trip. It could be anything. But it's for you. You are the one that wants it. That you want this. Okay? And you're specific. You sent to university and you leave it alone. You might visit for once in a while. And you might say to yourself, it's already mine. It's already mine. Because everything's temporary. So why not enjoy? Why not manifest the best of the best of the best? Why not manifest it? You deserve the best of everything. And to understand that that's your natural state of being. It's not out of the ordinary you deserve the best of everything. Everybody on this planet does. Rather than believing that, you were given a life full of misery, pain, sorrow, and anguish. These are the cards. Someone says these are the cards they were dealt, so that's it. That's how they're going to live. They manifest it. The universe gives them more of it throughout their life. I've had people say, why is my life so miserable? I said, because you aren't aware that you keep manifesting more miserable. And I say, just feel that with your heart and mind. Think about that. Understand it. You're doing it to yourself. People that become substance dependent, right? Substance abuse. In other words, drugs and alcohol and crack and all kinds of stuff. Why do they do that? To them, they live in a world of make-believe. So as long as they're high, nothing really bothers them. They're so high. Even as they watch their bodies deteriorate, everything just goes to hell in a handbasket because of the addiction. The addiction to them, it saves them. Does that sound crazy? It saves them. It keeps them out of life. And you ever seen it where I'll just have a little more. I'll just have a little more. And none of us really do well when we're under the influence of anything. So when I talk about relaxing the body, I'm talking about naturally, not artificially. And then we catch on. I believe that people on this planet are catching on. Not they're not front and center yet, but they're catching on. They're starting to realize certain things about themselves without judging themselves or being harsh with themselves. They're starting to realize that, hey, wait a minute. I've been given everything that I could possibly need on this endless journey. The God within me comes with all the options. So you couldn't get another option. It's full boat. So for you to be able to manifest things, you already have everything you need. But isn't it interesting that many people don't believe in themselves? They don't believe in themselves. Could be through how they were raised, how they were influenced through this life. And so they believe that they don't deserve the best of everything. That's being selfish, right? That it's better to be poor, impoverished. That's a good God-fearing person that's poor and impoverished, isn't it? Isn't that portrayed that you should not want, not have, and be just poor? Have simple food, water and bread. Who came up with that? Right? Probably one of the slave masters of the planet. None of us are inferior. We never have been. That's an illusion. And none of us are lacking. That's an illusion too. You see how powerful we are? We can create anything. We can create a society that doubts itself, right? But the collective is different, say. Society is the illusion. The collective is the real deal. And the collective decides certain things, like with this planet. Does it destroy itself or does it move on? Well, collective says it moves on. Who's the collective? You. It doesn't mean, now, can you understand all of the thoughts that have been generated on this planet just in the last 2 years? Think about that now. Massive. I mean, every kind of thought and then some. We're all going to die, you know. Everything's going to blow up. Planet's going to blow up. It's the end of the world. When is this ever going to end? And people, and see, the danger is that the universe is sitting there going, okay, here's some more. Then people say, well, how can you manifest something? Right? How can you manifest something when everything seems to be going to hell in a handbasket? A lot of people say that. They'll go, what are you, crazy? I'm going to go into a positive sense and I'm going to manifest what I want in this life? Yeah. And you will get it. As long as you don't have doubt about yourself or the universe, you'll receive it. There is a plethora of non-ending frequencies, right, that are constantly being generated by each of us. And these frequencies stay. As long as you're focused on certain things, for yourself, whatever they may be, whether they're good or bad, you're creating them for yourself. The life you're living right now, you created. The life that all of us are living in this very moment, in this very now, we created. Nothing outside of us created this life. We did. We created the trees, the plants, the birds, the bees. We created all of this. Why? Because it's temporary and it's entertaining. And we learn. See, we either progress or digress. And that's a choice. There isn't and I'll tell you this right now, there isn't a slave master ever created in the history of existence that could stop you from manifesting a life that you desire to live. Period. It doesn't make any difference at all. You could be in the Colosseum at Rome. They're in Rome's heyday. And you're called a Christian, right? And you know they want to throw the Christians into the Colosseum, out on the playing field, so to speak, and everybody sits up in the bleachers and watches the Christians die like tigers and animals that are let loose onto them. Now, one of the Christians says to themselves, I have no fear. You know. And then they put a desire out to the universe that their body isn't destroyed. Now, they focus on this. They just don't do it at the spur of the moment in the Colosseum. They do it way before that. And they also discover that they're the God in the body, that there is no God outside of them that tells them what to do and how to do it and punishes them and rewards them. That God doesn't exist. So they know they're the God in the body. So what happens? They don't die. The body isn't destroyed by the tiger or the lion. Doesn't happen. Something goes astray or something. And this has happened many times throughout existence. And it's always done from the heart mind, not the ego mind, because the ego you leave the ego mind alone. But it's happy, see, because you're happy. The life is happy. And you continually have it progress. And you're happy because you're happy. And you've discovered the happiness inside of you, which is 24/7. Not outside of you. We all know how that goes. It's off and on, off and on. It's like hot and cold water. 1 minute it's great and happy, next minute, eh. And we have the gateway. Every one of us do. Everybody comes to these meditations. Everybody listens to the replays all over the planet. They begin to realize something. We all have this power. Every one of us, no matter at this very moment what our lives are, what we're experiencing. We all have this power. None of us are higher than each other. None of us are lower than each other. We are at equal stay. You for yourself, intend certain things without guilt, without fear, right? Without doubt. And it's like a matter of fact. It's no different than you walking into the kitchen, opening up your silverware drawer and saying, I can lift that spoon out of that drawer and I can use it to put food in my mouth. It's no different. I guarantee you, if you believe that you could not lift that spoon out of that drawer, if you really did truly believe with faith, confidence, and trust in yourself and the universe, you would not be able to lift that spoon out of that drawer. Something would prevent you from doing it. The danger is, for humanity, is that it's very delicate and sensitive. If you have low frequencies ruling over that, then the sensitivity of the people go down because they believe what the evil is telling them to be the truth. And that's how they control a civilization on a planet. The civilization believes what they're telling them. And the civilization looks at them as a credible source. Now, when you're yelling and screaming, if you ever get angry or something out of the clear blue, it doesn't matter what it is, it triggers it. Isn't it exhausting? Doesn't it take you a long time to recover? Yeah. But you're happy and joyous and laughing. You feel free, because you are. Which one would you pick? All right? Which one? Which one, if you were in low frequency, how long would you stay there? You wouldn't stay there long at all. You would switch gears and focus on your gratitude immediately, which would eliminate that lower frequency that's making you believe that you've been dealt a bad deck of cards. So in this quiet time with this meditation, manifest something for yourself. Do it. Focus on the breath. Remain perfectly still like a statue in a comfortable position. You'll leave the mind and ego alone. You'll move into the heart mind. You're only going to be in the now, moment to moment. Manifest something. You know, be detailed about it. Don't be half-assed about it. And make sure that you have true confidence, trust, and faith in yourself and the universe. Watch what happens. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Whenever you can, take a baby step back from your life. Look at the bigger picture of it all. You'll soon see how life is the most magnificent game that we'll ever get to play. And you just might see how the game of seriousness is a dis-ease that will cripple your soul. So drop this overly serious self ASAP. You don't need such a tight grip on anything, especially this super sweet little old you. In fact, all your deeply desperate and highly urgent desires will manifest much easier and faster when you are living lightly, freely, being more open to receiving. It just feels better to live your life lightly. So give yourself permission today to have a good long laugh at all these ridiculous demands and desires that you've put on you. Add a dollop of silliness to all your conversations. And give yourself full permission to be clumsy, carefree, creative, and just watch how wild, alive, and untamable you feel inside. You've been carrying enough weight on your shoulders for far too long. You deserve a major holiday from all of this heaviness. Please take in one breath of lightness and choose to experience your life as a fun and wonderful adventure into the unknown. It's time to let the good times roll. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night the following morning. And we will return here Wednesday, April 12th, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our time for change call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the deepest, deepest, deepest of eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what is going on outside of you.